in the farthest northeast edge of the United States. Beyond vast stretches of rich farmland and the gentle slopes of Maine's rolling hills, the St. John River traces the boundary between two countries. To the east lies New Brunswick, Canada. To the west, connected by the International Bridge, you'll find the historic town of Van Buren, Maine. With a population of just over 2,000, Van Buren is shaped by its close-knit community and the profound sense of pride they share in their hometown. It's a place where neighbors are like family, where traditions are cherished and passed down through generations. Van Buren's history dates back centuries to French colonists known as the Acadians, who were banished by the British in 1755, but overcame tremendous adversity to establish their colony here in northern Maine. The town preserves this heritage proudly and is openly displayed at the Acadian Village, a living museum that showcases the ingenuity and perseverance that laid the foundation of their enduring legacy. Today, Van Buren is undergoing an exciting revitalization, blending its storied past with fresh energy and modern developments. From the renovation of a historic theater that once drew crowds from hundreds of miles away, to new construction and businesses that continue to propel the town forward. History is thriving alongside progress here, even in the farthest corner of the United States. And it's here that we begin our journey to discover more of Van Buren, Maine. Van Buren was incorporated on February 11, 1881, and named after the 8th President of the United States, Martin Van Buren. To this day, many of the streets around town are named after other U.S. presidents and historic figures. But the history of Van Buren goes back much further. For thousands of years, the surrounding area was inhabited by the Wabanaki people, who had established small communities in what is now northern Maine. In 1755, the Acadian people found refuge in this region after being forcibly removed from their homes in what is now Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island. This movement, known as the Great Upheaval, was driven by the British, who demanded the Acadians swear an unconditional oath of allegiance to the British Crown. When they refused, their lands were confiscated, and the Acadians exiled.
The British wanted the land. The Acadians had worked hard to develop the land, and after they were all set up and they were growing crops, the British just took over. They came and expelled them. They dispersed them all over.
Most of the Acadians found a new life in Louisiana, and today are known as Cajuns, which comes from the French pronunciation of Acadian. But not all Acadians fled south. Some of them remained closer to the home they knew and loved, and they established a colony here in the St. John Valley, using their unique skills to build homes that would help them survive the harsh winters ahead.
They used the techniques of carpentry and boat building that they already had to make the beds. Like the bed that you see in the Roy House was the kind of bunk that you would see in a typical ship. The ship's knees that you see in the Morneau House were the kind of supports that you would have on a ship to keep it from being crushed, it's very unique to Acadians. No one else would have thought about that.
Homes were only the first step in creating sustainable life. Before long, businesses began to sprout up, providing essential services and resources for the growing community.
Behind me is the barber shop, and there's also like a switchboard in there, and a general store. You know, back then they combined a lot of things. And then there's a shoe repair shop. That was very necessary back then. People only had one pair of shoes apiece, so they had to go get them fixed. And then there's a dentist office on the far end.
The first Acadians who settled this area in the late 1700s lived in very simple accommodations, a log home, a dirt floor, and as people lived here for a few generations, we have newer buildings, better insulation, better flooring. But it shows the history, it shows some of the struggles that the Acadian forebears in this area went through so that their children and their children's children could live better lives.
Once in danger of extinction, the Acadians persevered, and many of their ancestors live here in Van Buren to this day.
On a été déployés ici. Il a fallu laisser nos terrains à grand prix et remonter la rivière pour se trouver d'autres places à rester. C'était dur, mais on a cette résilience que les Acadiens avaient. C'est pour ça qu'on est tant impliqués dans le village acadien, parce qu'on n'a pas peur du travail et on veut démontrer qu'est-ce que nos ancêtres avaient.
Ça fait qu'on est vraiment bien imprimé avec notre histoire des Acadiens. Et on est très fiers. On sait qu'ils ont travaillé fort. On sait qu'ils sont aidés. On sait qu'ils voulaient faire mieux. Ils voulaient se prendre soin. Ils n'étaient pas dépendants sur personne.
As devout Catholics, the importance of worship played a great role in the Acadians' lives. And as their culture began to develop, so did their architecture, including this unique masterpiece just on the outskirts of Van Buren, which is open today as a museum undergoing restoration.
This parish is Notre Dame de Mont Carmel, or what was a parish, and that's Our Lady of Mount Carmel. This one was built in 1908 and 1909, and this church was given to us by the Bishop of Portland, and the idea was to restore it, to make it into a museum and a cultural center. The trumpeting archangels on the top, they're made of wood, covered over with tin and lead. The colors were changed back to the original colors, which of course is green and gold. They're symbolic. Gold is the color of God, green is the color of hope. So it's a hope in God.
Though much has changed over the years, one constant is the beauty of the surrounding landscape. And today, these paths have evolved into vibrant ATV trails that connect the past to the present.
Hi, my name is Mike Bouchard. I'm Vice President of the Van Buren ATV Club, which is known as the Pine Runners. We have 58 miles of trail, some of the best trail riding in the state. We put in over 2,000 hours a year, volunteer work, cleaning trails, keeping our trails well maintained, well signed.
My name is Susan St. Amand. I was born and raised here in Van Buren. Bred this horse. She's a Tennessee walking horse. Had her 23 years. I was there when she was born. Absolutely love these trails. It's like a spider web when you look at it on the map. The wildlife is unbelievable. You see them right close up front. Enjoy moonlight rides because you see the northern lights, and there's a lot of opportunity here for someone who's serious and wants to do primitive horse camping.
We couldn't do this without our landowners, without the support of the businesses and the community. I mean, everybody that does this is a volunteer, and we all do it so people can come out and enjoy it in the same way we do when we're taking care of it.
So come up, enjoy it, and we're always here to give you a hand.
Van Buren offers endless opportunities for outdoor adventure. But these trails aren't just a local treasure. If you hop on an ATV here, you can drive through connected trails all the way to the state of Georgia and even California, making Van Buren the gateway of off-roading through the entire country. As temperatures drop, Van Buren offers some of the Northeast's most breathtaking snowmobiling trails, thanks to the dedication of the Gateway Snowmobile Club. Maintaining over 80 miles of meticulously groomed trails, the club ensures smooth, scenic routes through pristine wilderness that extends into Canada. Locals and visitors flood these trails each winter, a tribute to the club's hard work and commitment to an unparalleled winter experience. But beyond the thrill of the rides, these trails tell a story of tradition and a devoted community sustaining its winter economy with volunteer groomer operators. For sledders and snowmobilers, Van Buren isn't just a stop. It's a world-class ride, woven into Maine's northernmost frontier. Regardless of the season, Van Buren's strong community has always come together to foster relationships that have grown over centuries. This morning, at the Van Buren Fire Station, firefighters are showcasing their culinary skills for the community they proudly serve. Over 650 plates will be served today, and everyone leaves with a full stomach.
My name is Brian Caron. I've been the fire chief since July 1st, 2012. Peter Carbonneau and I started the chicken barbecue back in, I think it was 2008. We felt that doing a barbecue gave something back to the community, and ever since then it's grown. You get a lot of great stories and a lot of people sharing their experiences.
Van Buren is packed full of community events, and one particularly colorful one is a favorite of many, all to support an important cause.
This is a fundraiser that we do every year. So the glow run is a lot like a color run, except it's held in the evening, and the powder that we use is UV radiant. So when everybody returns here, they'll be under the black lights and they'll be glowing. So it's really exciting. We have a scholarship fund that we started in memory of my son Austin, who we lost to suicide in 2016. So we started a scholarship in his name, the Austin James West Memorial Scholarship Fund. We've been able to award over $18,000 to Aroostook County youth. My favorite thing is seeing the families together.
We're so excited to do the glow run. This is our first time and we're really excited.
Down at the soccer fields, the Van Buren Crusaders are in the middle of an action-packed game that fills the stands with excited onlookers. Not far away, a group of friends is enjoying a more laid-back morning, where socializing takes precedence over competition. Whether you prefer to watch or play, Van Buren has something here for everyone, including the rapidly growing sport of pickleball. These courts are used as an outdoor ice rink in the winter and used to be left empty for the rest of the year. But the town came together and painted in the new pickleball courts by themselves, finding another way to bring the community closer together.
I went to our rec director and said, we're going to be painting pickleball courts, and he said, who's we? I said, me and you, and anybody else that we can get willing to volunteer to help us. And now they're one of the most popular spots in our town. Just about every single night there are people on the courts playing as long as the weather is nice, and that's what's so important about creating place in a small town. It's not hard to get the people that usually are connected to each other together. That's not hard. The goal is to get people that are not connected together and see what you can build as a community. Through that pickleball program, we ended up with several thousands of dollars in donations to add to other programs at the rec department.
And if water sports are more your speed, the St. John River provides endless excitement as you ride between the border of two countries.
For the past 20 years, I've been water skiing with friends. A lot of fishermen come here, they can launch their boats right here. Many people use it for kayaking, so there's a lot to be done on this river.
Van Buren is also renowned for its world-class muskie and bass fishing, attracting fishermen from near and far. Over the past few years, Van Buren's focus has been on its growth and revitalization. The town's economy likely reached its peak in the 1950s, boosted in part by the Loring Air Force Base located nearby. Over 4 decades later, the base closed, leaving many without jobs, and the town's future unknown. Yet, like their Acadian ancestors, the townspeople persevered. Today, the town is alive with renewed energy, and with some of the lowest water, sewage water, and electricity rates in the state, Van Buren is an ideal location for new businesses to open. The Tulsa gas station, Hebert Rexall Pharmacy, and Ouellette Trading Post are thriving here and rapidly growing the town's economy. Saucier's has been an operating grocery store since 1899, and small businesses such as York's Kitchen, with delicious cinnamon rolls and fresh roasted coffee, are something you won't want to miss. And the popular restaurant, appropriately named Tasty Food, keeps Van Buren cool with ice cream treats and hot meals ready in 8 minutes every time. Another local favorite is the Northern Maine Kolache Shop, where Czech-inspired dishes have quickly won over the hearts of the town.
We decided to move up here because we wanted just a quieter life with our kids. We wanted a safe community where we just knew everybody and we were able to have an impact. People wrapped their arms around me and have been incredibly supportive. This was literally the perfect place to open.
The Kolache Shop purchases most of their meat from a local farm, strengthening local ties and helping to sustain the town's economy. Farms have been the backbone of Van Buren since the beginning. And our next stop is a family farm that has been passed down through 5 generations.
My name is Jay Lejoie. My family has operated our home farm here since 1901. In recent years, the climate affected some of the crops out west in the western United States. So we actually shipped approximately 20 million pounds of potatoes via rail and some by truck to Washington and Idaho. The agricultural heritage in Van Buren, in the St. John Valley, in our region, runs pretty deep. You know, we have a really good system on working together with our neighbors here. We like to see everybody succeed, and I think that says a lot about our community.
Well, thank God for our farmers. Our farmers are good people, very good people. They're honest, hardworking. You can't ask anything better.
Van Buren's International Bridge serves as a vital connection for farmers and traders, providing a direct route for the exchange of goods between the U.S. and Canada. Another landmark is the legendary Gaiety Theater. And although it sits in disrepair now, 2 brothers have come together to renovate it to its original beauty.
My name is Dayton Gramazon. The Gaiety Theater building has been part of my life for most of my life because my parents acquired it before I was born. I grew up going to the movies here. It was an experience to sit in this enormous, elegant theater and watch great movies and just spend some time in a different world. So one of the big social centers in Van Buren from the 20s through at least the 50s was the City Club on the 2nd floor in the front of the Gaiety Theater. You had a live band in the 40s and people would go to the City Club and they would dance. There were wedding receptions. It was elegant, it was classy. It really was a place that brought the community together. We all had that in common.
I've been working on the Gaiety Theater for 5 to 6 years. The first things we did is I sealed the 1-inch hole that was on the roof. So the building is really drying out. We're just about 90% on the demo and we're starting the rebuild process. Back in the day, this theater was known as Northern Maine's favorite playhouse. This place was magical and I want to bring that back. And I'm really stubborn and I'm very determined to make it happen so future generations can enjoy the Gaiety.
We are very optimistic that we can do this.
From the old to the new, heritage and art are in the DNA of this town. And the same passion that inspired the Gaiety Theater is alive in Van Buren today, seen in part through a globally acclaimed artist who fell in love with a quieter life here.
My name is Yala Ford. I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I work with a plethora of materials, anything from building public sculptures to building large-scale environmental installations. We've done work from the NFL to Rossignol, and the work really is trying to redefine what it means to experience humanity. These patterns are really just a part of the journey. Van Buren is the ultimate planetarium, where the stars are at your hands and where you can find your heartbeat. I think that this space has changed me for the better. You feel renewed every time you look around. And when I think about art, I think that this is the perfect canvas. It's primed for greatness.
As we come to the end of our journey here in Van Buren, we stop by one last event, the biggest one of the year. The Van Buren Revitalization Association, which organizes all of the town's events, brings the community to life each summer with its Christmas in July festival. There's music, games, and of course, Santa, who trades in his sleigh during the summer months for an inner tube. After handing out some toys, Santa heads up to the bridge with a tub of Christmas-themed rubber ducks. The Van Buren duck races are about to begin.
During Christmas in July, once Santa arrives, he walks up with all the ducks on top of the International Bridge, and then he just dumps them into the river. We catch the first one to cross the finish line, and that one's the winner. It's a lot of fun. The kids get a lot of excitement out of it.
Although Van Buren is considered a gateway to the United States, to others, it's home. Generations of achievements are reflected in each gathering, and the hands of a passionate community are building a brighter tomorrow. But don't just take my word for it.
I love growing up here. To me, this area is beautiful. I don't have to travel 2 hours to go to a park somewhere just to walk a trail. I plan to come back after college because I love it up here.
Everybody knows you. They're all friendly to you. They actually care about you. Van Buren is home.
I've been in town about 54 years. I came here to teach school back in 1970 and ended up spending my entire career here. The people were so welcoming and so friendly that they just made you want to stay.
There are a lot of museums, a lot of places to visit, and we'd love to have you up here.
Hopefully within a year and a half, we have a new station, and we'll see you at the open house.
If you're ever in the area, come visit us.
Come play in Van Buren.
Come play in Van Buren, and we'll see you soon.
Come play in Van Buren. This is the ultimate place of connectivity, adventure. It's not the same anywhere else.
So we hope to see you in scenic, historic Van Buren.